The Mercedes entered its third generation when it made its official debut at the 2014 Detroit Auto Show as a 2015 model. The most important aspect of the third general model is by far the new modular rear architecture (MRA) platform that, by the use of aluminum and high-strength steel, led to a pretty serious weight decrease of 220 pounds over its predecessor. After just a couple of years on the market, Mercedes has been devising a facelift for its resident compact luxury car, and we finally caught it in sedan and wagon form doing some real-world testing. The facelifted model is expected to bring a revised grille, new headlight and taillight units, revised fascias, and some minor updates to the interior that includes a refinement of the infotainment system controls, an S-Class inspired steering wheel, and a revision to the instrument cluster, among other little things. Don't get too excited to see everything the facelifted model will have to offer just yet, though. See, Mercedes is playing the same game it did with the S-Class and is testing parts individually instead of all at once. That means that most of the car is uncamouflaged because it's still sporting the current design cues. We do have a couple of good interior shots, so we can see what's going on inside, but as far as the outside goes, there isn't much new quite yet. The facelifted model is expected to make its debut late next year as a 2018 model, so there's still plenty of time for Mercedes to swap out parts and change things up on us. With that said, let's take a good look at the shots we have now and talk a little more about the facelifted C-Class. Exterior. The first round of spy shots haven't exposed us to too much change to the exterior. To be more specific, this mule is rocking the facelifted bumper, but it has also been covered with a plastic plate to conceal any design cues that really matter. As it turns out, Mercedes is getting pretty good at covering up its intentions, almost as good as VW covered up its emissions scandal for so long, but the impressions in the corners and the mesh covering the air dam provides us with some idea of what is to come. Looking at the current C-Class, this model, and the dents in the plastic overlay of this mule, it appears as if the corner vents in the fascia will grow a bit, and will actually be a little bit taller. They won't be taller by much, but they should give the front end just an extra pinch of aggression. The air dam will also grow a bit to match the corners and should help accent the more aggressive look. Other changes to the front should include a slightly revised grille with new louvers and mesh, as well as redesigned headlight lenses. Interior. It's pretty rare for us to get a look at the interior of a mule this early one, but we're lucky enough to see what the facelifted C-Class is working with, well, in a limited capacity, anyway. If you compare the current C-Class interior left to the one of the facelifted model right, there are just a couple of differences, but at least one of them addressed something that was bugging some. The most notable difference is that weird mouse-like control for the infotainment system is gone and has been replaced by a touchpad. This should make controlling the infotainment system a little easier. Furthermore, it will make the control knob just a head simpler to reach and use. It also appears as if the instrument cluster has been updated. From our limited view, it looks as if the gauges remained the same, but the TFT display screen between the two primary gauges appears to be larger. There's also a comfortable-looking steering wheel that is similar to that of the S-Class. Outside of these few things, expect the interior to continue on largely unchanged. The dash pad may change a bit and actually looks a bit taller in this mule, and the door trim panels have been altered a bit, with the door handles sitting a little farther back and lower. There could be some new materials and interior colors offered as well. Drivetrain. While the C-Class is due for a facelift, chances are nothing will change much in the drivetrain department. Some models could get a tiny bump in power through massage tuning, but I wouldn't hold my breath. The current model can be had with a 2.0-liter, turbocharged, 4-banger, a 3.0-liter, biturbo, V6, or a 4.0-liter, biturbo, V8. On a model this size, however, it shouldn't come as a surprise that the V6 and V8 engines are reserved for those willing to pay for that AIM badge. In entry-level form, currently the C300 here in the States, that 2.0-liter four-banger delivers a cool 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. That power is delivered to the rear wheels via 7-speed auto, but for a few extra thousand, you can get the 4MATIC model that includes all-wheel drive. Pricing for the facelifted C-Class is still a mystery as of this writing, but the current C-Class starts out at $39,500 for the C300 and $41,500 for the C300 4MATIC. Moving up to the C43 sets you back by at least $52,000, while the C63 commands a whopping $65,200. Then there's the wild C63S that calls for $72,800. Of course, all of these prices are before options, taxes, and destination charges. As for the facelifted version, I wouldn't expect pricing to increase